Welcome back to Foundations of Faith. My name is Rhett Williams. I'm a seminarian for the Diocese of Charleston, South Carolina. Great to be back with you today, ready to dive into the sign of the cross. We said we're going to talk about the Mass, and whenever we walk into a church or begin the Mass, we always start with this, name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. We begin as we begin all things. And this is a sign that's easily recognizable throughout the world, Catholic, non-Catholic. It's something that we've seen Hollywood take hold of in different movies, whether it be vampire movies, where we see the power against evil and magic and sorcery, which actually isn't too far off. St. Athanasius in the 4th century, he writes about the sign of the cross being one of the most powerful weapons against demons and temptation and the devil. But we also see it in everyday life. We see people making it before they eat, or even people on TV, the baseball players, as they come up to bat, they make the quick sign of the cross. So it's something that's easily recognized. For us as Christians, and especially as Catholic Christians, this is something that we use quite often. Pope Benedict XVI, he talks about it as a synthesis of our entire faith, this one small action. And it's very true. Even talking about the basic thing, the Trinity, is something that we say in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, a recognition of who our God is. And also it's a recognition of 3 in 1. We say in the name of, it's singular, and then we list 3. So 3 in 1. We also have an idea of, a more basic idea. If we think of it like this, that God came down from heaven for the salvation of souls, and then walked with man, and now is seated at the right hand of the Father. This idea of coming down, walking with man, dying, and now being at the right hand of the Father. So this is something that's another way of thinking of it. At the end of the day, it's a basic thought of the cross, and it's a reminder of the cross and how it is the threshold. This tree that he hung on was the way of salvation for us. As Christ died, it opened up the way to God the Father for us. We see the same sentiment in the writings of the early church fathers. For example, St. John Chrysostom from the 4th century. When therefore you sign yourself, think of the purpose of the cross, and quench any anger and all other passions. Consider the price that has been paid for you. St. Ephrem also exhorts in the late 4th century to all his people, do not go from the door of your house till you have signed yourself with the cross. Do not neglect the sign, whether in eating or drinking, or going to sleep, or in the home, or before going on a journey. So from the very beginning, we can see the power of this cross, the early church fathers using it, teaching it to their disciples throughout the centuries. And so it's something that we should take advantage of nowadays. The power is still there, the power of Christ, the symbol, the sign of the cross. So next time an emergency vehicle passes, make the sign of the cross. Offer prayer for those who are hurt or injured. Next time you pass in front of a church, make the sign of the cross. Recognize that your Creator is there. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Recognize who He is, 3 in 1. And also that our redemption came through this sign of the cross, through this cross itself. So don't be afraid. Use it before you go to bed, before you go. Take the words of St. Ephrem, before you go on a journey, before you go to bed, before you talk to your children. Anytime you have the advantage to be able to use it and make it efficacious in our lives. So I just encourage you, challenge you, include it more in your life. Make that prayer. It's an easy sign, easy symbol. Others will see it. Others will follow it. So I appreciate you being with us today, and I hope that you can come back next Monday for Foundations of Faith.